Assalamu alaikum, good day everyone, and welcome to the new episode of the Language Student Society's official talk show, Lexiconversations, where we celebrate the power of language through conversations that shape minds and inspire change. In each episode, we open the floor to meaningful stories featuring our alumni and some special guests as they share their journeys, insights, and expertise. From inspiring success stories to thought-provoking discussions, this show will bring us closer to understanding the limitless power of language. I am your host for today's episode, Sebastian Rodmaghinay, and I invite you to join me in this conversation. Allow me to introduce our guest for today's episode. He's an AB English Language alumnus at the University of Southeastern Philippines. Graduated way back in 2007, he currently holds a prestigious position in the IGT Solutions Company as the head of operations. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sir Nahum Joey Enano. Good day, sir.
Good day, Sebastian. Good day, everyone.
Hello, sir. Good day. How are you?
I'm good.
You're in Alabang right now, sir, right?
That's correct. I'm about to finish my week, so quite excited to
Oh, that's good to hear, sir.
enjoy my rest day.
Okay. As I was scrolling to my Facebook, I saw your profile, and there I saw you've been to a lot of places in the States. You've been to New York?
It's part of business. At the same time, it's leisure travel. So yeah, I've been to New York. Where else? Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas. You have San Francisco, Los Angeles, and many more.
Yeah, so traveling is also part of your current job, sir, right?
I would say it's part of my DNA. It's part of my work, and yeah, it's what I breathe in and out.
So in the previous projects of our organization, Language Student Society, we've been inviting, scholars, alumni, researchers. But today, it interests me because we invited someone from the corporate world, and as I known, you're from the call center company, sir, and AB English program is heavily associated with the call center industry. In the past 2 years, when I told people that I study AB English program, they often associate two things. First is being an English teacher, and second is a call center. So yeah, that's quite the stereotype with AB English students.
That's
But
correct. In fact, I came from a family of teachers too. My mom is a retired teacher. My kuyas are also teachers. I'm just probably the outlier in the family. In fact, my aunties and some of my relatives are also in the education, should I call it, in the academe, right? But I'm the only outlier in the family, I would say. And yeah, I'm in the call center slash technology industry.
so you're the only one who step outside of the
Correct.
family career. Okay.
That's correct.
So before we proceed to the career, sir, so how did you achieve your current status? I would like to first go back into your college journey. So upon entering the University of Southeastern Philippines, is AB English your first choice as a program?
Actually, it wasn't my first choice. It was actually political science in Ateneo, but considering the financial status during those times, we couldn't afford. I was not able to get 100% scholarship, and even 50%, it would still be difficult for my family, my parents to send me to Ateneo or other schools that would offer political science. I ended up with, it shouldn't sound like it's a bad thing. I think most lawyers, because I was really aspiring to become a lawyer in the past, right? Even until now, maybe I'd say. But some of our lawyers today took AB English as preparatory course too, right? So yeah, it wasn't. To answer your question, no, it wasn't my first choice.
So upon entering the AB English program, sir, it wasn't your first choice, but during your mid college journey, how was it for you? Was it difficult for you to adjust in certain ways?
Did not have a lot of expectations during those years. I'd say I enjoyed my college years because you get the chance to stay with your classmates for the entire 4 years, right? I'm not sure if that's the current setup with AB English right now, but in the past, we get to stick around for 4 years, except for those people who would not make the cut every year, right? So yeah, um, I was an active student government, I'd say, officer in high school. I kind of stepped. Yeah, I was really an active student government officer in high school, but I decided not to kind of step back from that kind of responsibilities in college. I didn't see myself anymore thriving. But yeah.
Well, but was there any particular moments that you still remember up to these days or during your college days? Was there any significant events or challenges that, helped you into achieving what you have right now?
Oh, sure. Since this is supposed to inspire people, right? First is
Yes.
those embarrassing moments. I'd tell you, as much as you can, get those moments, because that's when you realize, when you get older, that you've outgrown the person you were in the past. So one of the embarrassing moments I've had back in college days was joining that, how do you call it, the Mr. Cass and Mr. AB English.
Oh.
It was really embarrassing for me. I did not really want to do it, but my classmates had to push me. That's one. Second, I'd say those moments that you would be corrected by your teachers. I know it can be sometimes humiliating, but at the end of the day, you learn from it, or maybe not at the end of the day, but years after, you just realize, you come to your senses that those are times that you were wrong, and maybe you need some correction, and you would be appreciative of your teachers. Third, I would say the thesis and the research. One of in first year college, one of my research topics was about automation. So in the past, we did not have Chat GPT, right? So you really have to go through the nitty gritty of going to the library, or maybe going to the internet, check for references. But it equipped me. So just to give you a brief background there, I was also a quality manager and a process improvement champion, or manager. It really helped me up until today in terms of doing some research, the technicalities, the even your thesis in fourth year college. You would definitely appreciate that. I'm not sure if you have your thesis as early as third year, but you get to appreciate that, because the fundamentals of understanding the research would equip you to a lot of work in the future. So those are three things that I would say the highlights in college.
I actually can relate, sir, when you mentioned about your classmates, your peers forcing you to join a certain pageants. Because I experienced the same. Even my professors, they trying to push me to join because they said I have the potential. But I know it's embarrassing, but for me, I'm just not ready for it. That's why I'm not pushing through to that opportunity.
Maybe another mindset that, Sebastian, is no one would get ever ready to that, but it's the learning that you will take away from that experience, the confidence. In fact, today you're hosting this session, right? The confidence you're building, you're shaping, is would definitely benefit you in the long term.
Yes, sir. And I thank Sir Saj for that, giving me a lot of opportunities to grow in our field in AB English. You also mentioned, sir, about embarrassing moments of teachers correcting you. But for you, who is the most memorable professors during your time?
Oh, there were a lot of them. I'm not sure if Miss Bakyal is still there, right?
Oh, I don't think that he or she is still here, sir.
Yeah, Miss Bakyal. I think
Ah,
she's one
Mamolina. Oh, okay,
professor.
Mamolina. Yes, I know, sir.
Oh, it's Miss Molina right now, right? I suppose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The-
She's at the office.
Yeah. Because she's almost of our age. I think she was like 4 years older than us, or maybe 5 years. I couldn't remember. And I got the lowest grade. I'm not sure if it was like 2.75. Back I couldn't remember the course too, but yeah, that was eye opener for me because I missed that one quiz, and that was like a pivotal point for me.
Yeah, just like my professors is always saying, University of Southeastern Philippines is way harder before with the professors of the policies and all that. So upon graduating, sir, did you hop into the call center industry right away, or do you have other job
You know,
applications?
your type is you have to land a teaching job, right? I applied at I couldn't remember anymore the university. Is it a college sponsored by Kibuloy? Um,
Jose Maria College,
okay, yeah, that I think JMC.
JMC. Mhm.
I was not able to get that job. I went there and submitted my application letter, but I did not hear anything or any call from them. So there was this people support hub near Davao City National High School. I tell you right after, so before the graduation ceremony, I was there. I submitted my application and then I went through series of layers of interviews and assessments. And at that time, it was overwhelming because I finished college without really learning a lot of the technicalities of computers. So, just to be honest, this is very embarrassing to admit to. Even clicking right click and left click, choosing between the two of them, I didn't know that at that time. So when I was listening to a call, and you have to not to skip that because there are questions that come after that. I wasn't able to capture everything, but I think I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to sound like holier than thou, but I think I'm favored, and God gave me this opportunity. I passed the assessment even without really comprehending and listening to the call. So yeah, during the or after, right after the graduation ceremony, I asked my mom to just cross the street. I think that was in Bangko Central or couldn't remember, but near Davao City National High School. There's a hub there. I just crossed the street after the graduation, and then I asked the front desk officer there if I passed, and then yeah, I did, and I started my on the job training immediately.
Mm. So after your application to your first job, sir, how were you able to apply your learnings in your college days during those times?
You know what? If I'm going to measure, if I'm going to give you a percentage of the learnings that I was able to apply um, to my current job or when I first landed that job, I'd probably say 50% of that was, or maybe 50 to 60% of that was probably because of my course. The rest, I'd attribute that to your personality, your desire, most especially, because I did not come from a family of privileged people, right? I really have to fight my worth, if you may, and the financial stability of my family too. So I'd say 60% primarily because I got my diploma. That was one of the requirements. It's fundamental, right? It's foundational. Second is I get the chance. In fact, we were like 10 in that group when we were interviewed and we were in the class in Davao. And then one of my classmates or schoolmates in Davao City National High School was with me, but he finished his college in UM. He was very impressed of my development from high school to college because I could now speak English quite well compared to him during that time. So I think the equipping of USEP really shaped me and prepared me for that job.
That's amazing to hear, sir. And it's really inspiring, no, to be able to acknowledge
Even
that, USEP really shaped.
correct. Sebastian, I can tell you based on this interview, if I'm going to interview for a job right now, I can hire you. So have
Thank you,
the
sir. That's quite a compliment, sir. Actually, before stepping into the program, sir, I actually applied for a call center job.
I can tell
I
you have a
Yes,
mutual accent. You can talk to
yeah.
customers.
My approach there is that applying to the call center industry, it may help me enhance my speaking skills, my confidence in speaking, and all that. And I think it quite did. Before I was really, I often stutter. I'm quite shy to speak. Even Sir Sarge can confirm that. And yeah, the call center industry really quite opened the eyes for me in the industry of like speaking and communication.
Yep.
If I may ask, sir, how do you handle your work as of currently? Like
Oh,
you're the head of the operations, sir. Like,
yeah, I know what I posted on Facebook and social media is head of operations IGT, right? But right now I'm the general manager of IG. It's
so
one
you're like the
notch
big guy of the company,
higher.
sir.
Say it again.
You're like the big guy. You're like the boss.
No, we have our VPs and our CEO, but they're mostly in the United States. That's why every now and then I go to the
That's
US
why
to the
that's why
US.
you travel a lot.
Yep.
Like you've been to Brooklyn. Do they have all of these sites there, sir? From
We're global. We have sites in Cairo. We have sites in Cape Town, South Africa, Egypt, like Cairo, Egypt, right? India. We have two sites in India. In fact, in Iloilo, I'm fighting for one site in Davao. But of course, we're talking about cost and a lot of studies that would come with it before we can implement that. But yeah, we have multiple sites here in Manila. We have one in Shaw, Mandaluyong, Alabang, mostly in Alabang area because of a demographic.
And if I may ask, sir, I'm just curious because I've been into call center industry before,
Mhm.
and I was under the account of DoorDash, which is customer support for a
Yeah,
food
for that.
company delivery.
Mhm.
Yes. So in your company, IGT Solutions, what type of service do you offer to the customer?
Is really about providing solutions, technology solutions to customers. In fact, I'm not sure you guys are very well aware of AI today, right? I also mentioned
Yes.
automation earlier. So we provide co-pilot automation to customers. We have bots that would take care of customer service and sales for customers. We don't need to hire. We don't need human intervention anymore or call center agents. We hire bots today. We pay the technology. We provide the technology to our customers. So I'm afraid of the job security as of the moment. I would say probably I'm enjoying the privilege of um, the better salary or compensation, right? But maybe 5 years from now, it might be threatened by AI and the intervention of a lot of bots and co-pilots.
Yes, sir. AI really, it's like a form of a revolution. AI taking over a lot of industries as of the moment. And upon going to the States, sir, how were your interactions with the internationals there? How did you
I don't
able
want to be
to
arrogant.
intercultural?
Yeah, sorry. Go say that again.
How was your intercultural communication and interaction with the foreigners, sir? Were you able to adjust?
Yeah, at first, one of my expectations in the past was they would be because there's a lot of before I went to the US the first time, I read a lot about the personality and the overall culture, right, of Americans, and some of them would tell us that they're arrogant and there's white supremacy or whatnot. But when you get to know them, they're just as probably as good as Filipinos. I did not feel that superiority except for their fair skin, maybe, and the weather there. But overall, when I first talked in front of the crowd, the Americans, heard some of them talking in front too. Like we're all of the same. I think we're in the same playing field. I would say Americans can also be shy. They can also have stage fright when they talk in front. They stutter too when they talk in front, especially in the corporate world. So I got that sense of probably security or assurance that yeah, we're all of everyone, all nationalities in that particular group are of the same playing field. So that's where I draw my confidence and just continued because at the end of the day, interculturally, we learn from each other. So there's some value that you yeah, provide to other nationalities and bring to the table. So it wasn't
Yes, sir.
difficult for me just to answer the
Yes.
question.
Upon acquiring all your skills, sir, that you've learned to in the call center industry, how does that able you to become who you are right now, like
Oh,
general manager of the IGT Solutions?
got it. So fundamentally, like what I mentioned earlier, as long as you can converse, you can talk to Americans, right, and you can navigate a computer or a machine, then that gives you that what they call it, the chance to work in a call center, right? But for you to be promoted to a supervisor, you need to have that leadership skills. And it's not something that's innate to everyone. Maybe a few are blessed with that leadership skills, maybe because of exposure. And in college, I was also an SK counselor. So I'm also exposed, like I also mentioned in the past, in high school too. That's where I started my what do you call this, exposure to leadership or leading people. So yeah, I got promoted, and then that's when you realize that you have to know your people. You need to learn some leadership skills depending on the demographic. I'd be more confident to lead people in Davao of the same probably origin, but this time around you have to lead different nationalities too. I got the chance to lead people from Bogota. You also get the chance to lead people from Cairo, from India, and even from the US. So there are meetings that you have to lead, and like what you're doing right now, sometimes you get the question if you're capable, if you're equipped to do the job. But yeah, those are the stuff that you get the chance to learn. Leadership is ever evolving. It doesn't stop because like I just realized this is one of the recent talks in the company about the Gen Z in the corporate world, right? So it
Mhm.
might be a totally different demographic, but leadership should adjust in terms of the approach and methodology for them.
What advice can you give to your previous self, like your college self?
I would say trust the process.
Mhm.
Don't be too arrogant. I wasn't though,
Yeah.
but I would remind myself to be humble at all times and um, learn as much as you can. Um, there are too many. A lot of people would say there's ubiquitous information out there, right? So internet is your easy access to a lot of information. You have Chat GPT. You can just ask Chat GPT of different questions. Basically, you can learn a lot of things. You can acquire a lot of skills. So learn as much skills you can, because that would differentiate you from other candidates or other from other people, and would give you that edge in the future.
Mhm. Okay, sir. Now let's make things more a little bit more exciting, with a quick segment we call "Talk Wordy to Me," where you see it, say it, short and smart.
Okay. Is this like fast talk?
So, sir, in just a moment, I'll be showing you a few pictures related to your field and your journey. And all you have to do is give me one or two words that best describe each picture.
Okay.
So, are we ready?
Sure.
Okay, the first picture is call center.
Purpose.
Mm, So next.
You have to explain or
Oh,
ano?
just one or two words, sir.
Security,
Mm, security. Next.
tour.
Okay. Obrero, Davao City, sir.
This is interesting. What do you call that? Cabao. There's Cabao one, right?
So, can you expound that, sir? That term, Cabao.
So I never had Cabao in the past. I have never tasted Cabao, but it was just in Obrero in that particular area that I got a chance to um, taste Cabao. It was interesting. It was delicious too. But right the day after I had Cabao soup, I was feverish. So that's one
Ah,
of the memorable experiences I had in that area.
so if I may ask, sir, where is that location exactly? Because I think I wanna visit that place.
I think there's one in front of USeP. Couldn't remember exactly, but yeah, maybe the one before the street before you go to USeP if you're coming from Bahada.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of renovations and changes in the businesses here, kasi sir, no.
In the last time I
But
visited that area, that particular store isn't there anymore. I think it was replaced by
mm,
Minute Burger.
oh, okay, Minute Burger. So this was it. So since we're here, sir, I just want to ask you more about Obrero during your time. How was Obrero during your time, sir? Because I was just curious. I was only 3 years old back then,
Oh,
2007.
okay, Sebastian, let's not talk about age. A sergeant can definitely do some what do you call it, download of how Obrero was before. But I'm surprised every time I visit Obrero today. It's quite developed now, unlike in the past
Mm,
where the stores are, I'd say, not as elaborate as it is today. But yeah, it. I think the even the roads weren't as smooth as you can see in the picture. Um, and what some of the memories I can recall was like walking instead of taking a trike because of some financial difficulties, right? And a lot of I don't want to call it restaurant hopping, but because they're not restaurants, they're eatery, carinderia hopping from
mm,
one carinderia to another. But yeah, it's interesting years recalling those memories with friends.
mm. Did you also experience Baha, sir, in Obrero?
Not just in Obrero, but from where I stayed, from where I lived in the past. We used to live in Laverna Hills.
Oh, the flood there is really, it's really brutal, sir. I have to say, I'm
But
sorry
I think
to.
during those times, I don't think that Obrero was flooded. Couldn't
Mm,
I didn't live there. I did not have my apartment. Some of my friends had apartments in that particular area. I couldn't remember that Obrero was a flooded area. Maybe some
mm,
few areas there, but not entirely.
yes. Okay, for the next picture. Okay, AB English Language.
Wow. Grateful.
Grateful. So Sir Saj is really happy right now. So, if I may ask also, sir, how were you grateful to your college journey?
It wasn't my plan, right, to take this course.
Mm. Yes,
Total.
you said it wasn't your plan, but it
In
ended up
fact,
being the bridge to where you are right now. So, how were you able to appreciate your college journey?
right, sometimes God leads you to places where you don't expect or you expect the least, right? I don't want to be
Yes.
holier than thou or preachy here, but um, yeah, it wasn't my plan. It was His plan. For emphasis, it was His plan, and there's a lot of equipping there. There's a lot of preparation there. There's a lot of humbling experiences there. And my colleagues would usually ask me, where did you guys, where did Joey, where did you go in college? And I would, in the past, and I would have to admit this, it would difficult for me to explain that it's a state college, right? It's a state university, if you may.
Mhm.
And if you compare it to people that I competed with for promotion in the past, most of them were from UP, Diliman. Some of them are from Ateneo or La Salle. So it's quite difficult to compete with the top 10 universities in the Philippines. But I think it's not about the university or the course. It's about, sometimes it's the people that would
Yes.
help establish the organization or that group. So I'm very grateful because I had a chance to be contributing to the success of AB English, I would say. And it's a mutual relationship, or it mutually beneficial, because AB English has equipped me to who have I become today. So there's a lot of equipping, a lot of training. 4 years was really long. It can be dragging sometimes, but yeah, I can just be so grateful and thankful that um, I was one of the alumni of this course.
Yes, sir. And we are also grateful to have you here as our speaker, as our
Thank you.
guest. Okay, for the next picture, customer service.
Um, so this is a fast talk. I would say it's a market. I'm coming from a business standpoint. It's a market.
Market, yes. Next is leadership.
Servant leadership.
Okay.
Let me know if you want me to expound or whatnot. Accent
Yes.
discrimination. Sorry, go ahead.
Ask this, sir. Accent discrimination.
I think it's across the globe. So it's global, I would say.
Did you experience accent discrimination in the past, sir, during your earlier days in the
It was
industry?
very subtle. In fact, all of us Filipinos, when we go to the United States, we get that particular how would say those kind of incidents. So my previous boss would sometimes order Coke inside the
Mhm.
plane when we go to the United States. And then when he would ask for Coke or order Coke, the flight attendant would sometimes subtly imply that I did not understand you and say that again or what? But it's their way. But although it's very clear, you can definitely hear my boss saying Coke, and you cannot misinterpret that or mishear that, right? Or misunderstand what he said, because it's straightforward. It's Coke. But
Mhm.
yes, some of them would probably intimidate you, and I don't think it's discrimination. I think it's more on insecurity that some of us are taking their jobs. So even even us, when we hear some of our bosses, Filipinos, when we hear our bosses, especially if they're Indians, so they also have their accent, right? So I think that's why I said it's global.
Mhm.
Um, we had we have that fair opportunity to improve on that aspect, because I would always tell this to my people that tomatoes would always be the same, right?
Mhm.
Regardless where it comes, maybe Italians would say tomatoes, or maybe what people from South America would say tomatoes. But you get the chance to understand still, right? So I think accent discrimination is coming from a space of insecurity and lack
Mhm.
of understanding.
So, how did you overcome the discrimination that you experienced, sir? And for
My
everyone who's watching,
I don't think we have to. No, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you capture that, but I embraced it fully. I'm a
Mhm.
Filipino.
Yes,
I
yes.
cannot. Every time I try to imitate that accent, or even try to neutralize my accent, in a lot of cases,
Mhm.
um, people would still know that you're not from the United States, right? So why would you pretend? what I offer to the table is not my accent, it's the solution, it's the customer service,
Yes.
it's the efficiency. Accent can be neutralized maybe, but I don't think that's the main reason why we have customer service or why we have this business in the first place.
Yes. Highly agree, sir. Okay, for the next one, here, language barrier. This is big for this is the big issue for the call center industry, right, sir?
Language barrier, it exists.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to embrace that.
I have to share this one, sir. Back when I was still working at the VXI, I experienced a language barrier, not that much of a margin, but I had a customer who's from Texas, and I can't really capture everything that he's trying to say, even though I know he's speaking in English, but I'm I still cannot interpret anything that he's trying to say. So I was trying to adapt to the accent and maybe even the language, with the Mexicans in the call center. So for you, sir, what will be your word for the language barrier?
Um, so I don't want to blame the academe or maybe the education system in the Philippines, right? I'm also a product of that. But in the Philippines, in comparison to the US, I think we're trained to be very formal in terms of how we talk, right? So I get this feedback a lot from my American colleagues and even from other nationalities. We're wordy for most part. In fact, in school, I'm not sure if that still exists today, but we're asked to write essays that should have 2,000 words. Right, that's not the game right now. As much as you can, you have to be clear and concise. It's not a play of words or a game of or a competition of putting in a lot of words in your essay. That's not how they want today. So I think that language barrier is coming from that particular opportunity in the education system. But yeah, we're trained to be a little bit formal, not too conversational. Um, so that's how I put it.
Okay. So for the next one, do we have the last one? Okay. AI-based call centers.
That's a threat today. It's
Yes.
it really is imminent threat to the industry. In fact, there's like if my numbers is correct, approximately 200,000. If my numbers are right, you can actually check this through Google or maybe Chat GPT. 200,000 employees were displaced just for the past couple of years because of AIs. The ticketing of airfares and airline tickets are done by AIs today. Chats are done by AIs today. In fact, when you chat AirAsia or maybe Cebu Pacific, you get, or maybe other customer service platforms, you get some AIs, right? It's no longer going directly to the agents or to the people or human beings, but you have your AIs now. So roughly 200,000, and it's going to rapidly increase in the coming years.
Sir, for you, sir, how do you think you balance the productivity of human power and AI in the industries, not only in call center, but in general?
The good thing about work is, again, it's ever evolving, especially coming from different customers' expectations. Today, maybe customers want efficiency. Maybe in the future, 2 years from now, they want to humanize the experience, right? If you had an experience of talking to an AI bot, maybe they're efficient, but they're not exactly able to, at least for now, capture the emotions, spot the cues that you're throwing in the conversation, right? So maybe in the future too, these AIs would probably take a backseat and human interventions would necessary. In fact, in the US, because of the call center being outsourced to the Philippines and India, right? They would advertise in their commercials in TVs that their customer service is in the United States, not in the Philippines, not in India. It's a value proposition that they provide to their customers. Maybe in the future, we don't have AIs. We have humans that understand you. So things would change. It's ever evolving. So yeah, that's how I put it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That will be our last picture for today. Oh, we still have one. Okay. Indigenous people.
Um, Empowerment.
Empowerment. Can you expand, sir, how empowerment does for a indigenous people? For
So
you.
I went to different places here in the Philippines too. I went to Ifugao, and
Mm,
Baguio. I think the culture there is richer than any other places in the Philippines, even in Davao. Maybe I haven't gone to the southern part of the Philippines or Mindanao, but in that particular area, they still practice a lot of traditions. It's very rich, but and I saw some pageants there too, and the common question they ask their contestants or their candidates is, how would you um, integrate your culture to the development or the development of a society, right? Or in the development of the economy of that particular region or that particular province.
mhm,
And in my mind, I'm not sure if that's the right question to ask, because the common answer you get from that question is to promote their culture, promote tourism, and promote and preserve the culture.
mhm,
It can be very limiting for these kids when
mhm,
they grow up, because again, things evolve, right? We change, or if there's something that I would want you to take away from this discussion is, in the corporate world, there's what you call, or maybe this is just my perspective. I'm not saying generally this is true. Just what do you call this? Take it with a grain of salt, right? But change is the only thing that's constant, right?
mhm,
And how do you manage change? Would you stick to the old beliefs and traditions, or would you take it slowly, integrate your culture and your traditions, your rituals, if you may, to the evolution or development of the society, or would you quickly do it? How do you manage change? Because at the end of the day, I think, at least in my experience, Sebastian and team, um, the common opportunities I have in terms of implementing, executing projects, and a lot of stuff is the belief and mindset of people. We always believe that, or we always think that, or maybe we're emotional beings, right? It's difficult for us to um, let go of what we have, what we're used to, traditions, your customs, or whatnot. But yeah, change would always challenge you to think and to live and to evolve.
mhm. And last question for this segment, sir. For you, how do you balance no the adaptation to the change while at the same time embracing your culture and your roots?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that question, because until now I'm still learning. And I think you just need to prioritize things, right? Um, from from the grander thing, from a grander scheme of things, I'd say you need to understand where you think would benefit the society most, yourself, your family, and maybe your relatives and friends, right? um I lost my train of thoughts, but I think what I'm trying to say is, try to challenge status quo, maybe, and try to understand if it's hindering or limiting yourself from developing. And if it is, maybe it's not the right tradition to preserve. In fact, again, going back to that pageant that I witnessed, because I was there like in June in Ifugao, um, I think it's not about the tradition and the practices, right? And the rituals and the customs. I think it's all about the people. We're not celebrating rituals, we're not celebrating traditions or customary practices, but I think it's the richness of the people that we celebrate. Again, changes will always be there. So, and it would always challenge the way you live, the way you think. And again, just keep an open mind and ask yourself if this is beneficial. At the end of the day, I think it all boils down to your choices. And if it's going to benefit the majority of the people, then go do it. But if it wouldn't, if it would put it at risk, then maybe challenge it even more or further. I'm not sure if you learned from it, but that's how I think. That's where my headspace is today. It may change in the future too, because again, changes would always be constant, right? I may
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
different belief and mindset in the future, but as of now, that's how I see things based on my experience or experiences.
So yes, sir. Thank you so much for your insights. And we're off into our last question, sir. So if we say that language is power, as we always emphasize in AB English program, how has it empowered you to change the world in your own way?
Okay, so this is sorry, since this is your last question, Sebastian, let me give you some figures. Right now, I pay 6 digits tax on a monthly basis. I'm not sure if that's enough answer for you. That's how I was empowered by language, specifically English. So I pay a 6 digit taxes or tax today on a monthly basis. If you want me to expound further, I can.
Yes, yes,
Basically,
sir.
I
You may.
learned back in high school when I joined back sorry when I first stepped in the university. I was struggling in terms of expressing my thoughts, right, my emotions,
Mhm.
and it's prone to misunderstanding. In the corporate world, when I first joined my first ever company, People Support, it was quite difficult for me to express my ideas because I also have, it's probably not rooted to your capability to speak, but probably your personality and maybe what your confidence in sharing your thoughts, your ideas. So you also get a chance to equip that, to hone that, to shape that. So there's a lot of learning, and there's a lot of equipping and shaping in the process. But language is your vehicle. You couple it with determination and especially your desire to improve yourself. You definitely thrive and get to where you want to be. In fact, I did not even ask for these promotions. I would be very honest with you, Sebastian. In my first year in the call center world, because of the stereotyping, right? They say this is an industry for dumb people, for stupid people, right? Because you only talk to customers, maybe answer their questions, and
Yes, that's the main stereotype for the call center industry, sir.
absolutely. So I did not even envision myself to stay here for 17 years or maybe 18 years now. But again, there's purpose, and I believe in the plans of God, of Him. I'm here for a purpose, um, and I'm able to inspire people. Every time they ask me where I went in college and what course I took in college, that's one of the common questions I get every time I get promoted. And people would ask me where specifically in Davao. So um, I think I'm going in circles, right?
But
But
it's okay, sir.
but
We appreciate your
hopefully,
insights.
but hopefully this is helpful. It has. the language is really powerful. And it's not just about grammar, right? It's not just about phonetics, semantics, pragmatics, or intricacies of
Yes.
language there.
Syntax.
But it's a combination of the technicalities, fundamentally, that's needed, that's required, because of course you need to be clear and concise when you talk, right? But language is your tool. Language is a vehicle. It's your platform. The re- it can speed you up in terms of your success. I think there's a lot of studies around people who thrive, people who succeed in their industries, and one commonalities that they have, these people have, are the ability to communicate. And when I say communicate, it's not just to impress them with your good grammar. In fact, even until today, I'm still learning, and I still commit a lot of grammatical errors, right? And even pronunciation errors. Your accent would always be there, but again, yeah, you get a chance to learn every day. But the ability to pass on the message with least resistance. One of the skills that I try to pass on to my subordinates today is the ability to sell every time to talk when you talk to people. Language is fundamental to that, right? So when you ask for a favor to your supervisor, maybe, or to your professor, you say, "Can we move the exam tomorrow, sir?" And I would always tell my subordinates that that's not how you ask for a favor. You sell the benefit to your supervisor or to your professor in such a way that it would be mutually beneficial for both of you. Otherwise, if you communicate in such a way that it's just benefiting you, I don't think you will succeed in any industries that you will land in the future. So again, language is powerful because it's fundamental, but you have to tweak it. Sometimes you have to maneuver it in such a way that you have an impact. Your impact would be felt, and you succeed in whatever you do in the future.
Okay. So thank you, sir. That was pretty that's very insightful to hear, especially for every one of us here in AB English Language Program. So I guess that's pretty much it. I hope you're doing well as always. Thank you so much once again, sir, for sharing your
Oh,
story.
just out of curiosity, you guys have class today, or are you guys at home?
We're at the office, sir. We're in order to make this meeting possible.
Oh, I apologize because my availability is only during weekends,
No,
so
it's
I'm not sure.
totally fine, sir. It's our initiative to reach out to our alumni, to communicate and to connect with the students as well, to inspire and to guide us into what a language and where language can bring us, right?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, but Facebook is a personal space for me. I'm on LinkedIn. If you guys, because again, I'm also scouting for talents, right? In fact, today I'm growing an LOB, or line of business, that would probably expand 2,000 headcount. And maybe in the future you'd be interested or you'd be qualified. I'm not saying you drop out from college. Maybe I can wait. 2 years from now, you'd be eligible.
For,
You'd
for
be
sure,
ready.
sir. I'll definitely consider
No,
that, sir. Off.
you message me on LinkedIn. You guys can just easily find me on LinkedIn.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that opportunity that you've given us. We're really grateful. And I think that's pretty much it. And to everyone who's watching, this has been the episode 2 of Lexiconversations. I am your host, Sebastian Road Maginay, and this is where we celebrate the power of language through conversations that shape minds and inspire change. Daghang
Thank you so
salamat.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.